Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Retro Spider-Man Target exclusive Carnage. Now, I know what you're thinking. Target hasn't started shipping these out. They're not expected to release until like October or August, September. I don't even remember what time it was. Why? Because I missed the pre-order. I couldn't get a pre-order in Carnage. I wasn't too concerned about it because Target exclusives are the easiest to find in store. That does not mean that it's a guaranteed find, but I was fairly confident that I would be able to get it. But luckily, ToySnowman.com in Canada, there's no Target in Canada, so they're not exclusive to Target. They go to the fan channels in Canada. So Toy Snowman actually got these way before Target would. They're currently sold out right now, but you got to jump on these pre-orders when they have them available. Like the Marvel Legends Warbird, Toy Snowman had that available. The pre-order sold out on that. Pre-order sold out on Target too. I never got a pre-order in on through Target on that one either. So thankfully, Toy Snowman did get some of the Carnage figures in stock. So I was very happy to have that. So you guys got to keep an eye out for pre-orders. When these kinds of things go up, I share links in my Instagram page. So if you go there, you could join my broadcast channel where I share pre-order links, and then check out my Instagram stories. I have those pre-order links. So here we have Carnage. So I'm very excited about that. But again, check out ToySnowman.com. Link in the video description below. My referral code. Use that link. Create an account. Brand new accounts, first time buyers. You get a 5% off coupon code in your Frost Rewards. So here we have Carnage. This is not the first time we have seen a Carnage like this. We have already one before. This is the Absolute Carnage that came in like the Venom Wave 2. So this figure is essentially a repaint. There is some differences as we have a new head sculpt on this one, and then the hand accessories are new. One of them is for sure new. I'll have to double check on the other one if it's been reused or not. Now, if you missed out on this figure, that's too bad. This is an awesome figure, so this might be your opportunity to get it again. Or, if you don't want this figure, pass on it. It's an exclusive. You don't need it. It's not part of the main line of Marvel Legends. It's a store exclusive. Or if you just want it on card or whatever the case may be, it could be a pickup or it could be a pass. So easy one. If you need it, if you don't need it, there. We have had a recent Carnage, not even recent. This was probably the most recent. This was last year's VHS Spider-Man animated series. So this figure is, even though it's on the animated series card back retro ToyBiz card, it's now animated series based. Most of them are comic-based figures. There are some that are animated series-based, but they're few and far between. This Carnage was specifically for the animated series, as it was in the VHS box set with the black suit Spider-Man. So I will do a comparison just so you guys could see that there. But anyway, Carnage, it says weapon arms there. We get that artwork there on the side looking very cool. I love the Spider-Man card back. I will be getting a second one from Target, so I can put it up on my wall while we're ripping this package open for you guys. The bio reads, after integrating with the symbiote Venom's offspring, dangerous criminal Cletus Cassidy became the ruthless villain Carnage. Ooh. So there we go. Let's go ahead and get Carnage out of the package. I'm going to film this because it's just heartbreaking to do this. Now, I know you can cut it in certain ways to protect it or whatever, but I didn't do that. I'm looking at this. So this is a handpiece. It's cool. It's an axe, the double-bladed axe, but literally all I can see on this is the Batwing, right? That's not just me. Please tell me it's not just me that all I see is the Batwing flying around, right? Come on. I can't be the only one. Can't be, right? There he is. Okay. Here's the Carnage figure out of the package. He's a whole lot of fun. It's just a repaint of the other one. We get the new head, sure. The two new hands, extra hands, the axe and this blade hand, very cool. Very, very cool. But, I mean, basically the same. Like, the new head sculpt, it's cool. I don't know that it's better than the Absolute Carnage version. It's certainly not terrible or bad or anything like that. But if you missed out on that Absolute Carnage figure, this is going to be a good one to pick up if you are in need of another Carnage figure. We've had several throughout the years. In fact, we're even getting a Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage figure later this year. The Venom 3 The Last Dance trailer dropped this morning, and it's going to be interesting. It doesn't look like a terrible movie. I'm sure it'll be better than Venom 2. But, the whole MCU bar thing, how is it in the Sony universe now all of a sudden? It's just kind of weird. But anyway, back to the Carnage figure. Easy pass if you don't if you have the Absolute Carnage figure. If you don't have that Carnage figure, I recommend it. This thing is really nice. The sculpted detail and the paintwork is pretty amazing. Fair warning, because it's 2024 and people are going to hate this. There are pins on this figure, but again, it's a repaint from an older figure. So there are pins. They don't update everything to be pinless because that would require new molding for everything. So that's not something that they're just going to go and do. It would be nice, but they're not going to do that. Like, keep your expectations where it's actually what Hasbro is going to or not going to do. The pins are all red. It's a red base figure, so it blends in just fine. Like, it doesn't bother me that it's got pins in it. So just a heads up on that, just so you guys know. Let's get in for a closer look at Carnage. See that new head sculpt, and we'll take a look at the new hands, the blade things, because they're pretty cool. The Batwing axe thing is awesome. Okay, here is an up-close look at the new Carnage figure, and he is pretty menacing looking. Now, the tendrils in the back I actually think are quite annoying. They're cool that they have it there. It's just a backpack piece. As you can see there, it just ports on into the back. I think for the rest of the video, I'm not going to have it. My Absolute Carnage figure, I have left that piece on there, but like in the display, it always gets tangled up with other figures and everything, and it just becomes a pain in the ass there. But it is the same piece, as you can see there. And then you could tell the reds are a little bit different. We get a little bit of a brighter red, and then the blacks have a little bit more shine to them. And we'll see that, you know, as we take a look at the figure and kind of do more of the side-by-side. So I'm going to keep this piece off because it just kind of gets in my way and it's a little annoying. I want to focus on the head sculpt because the head sculpt is new. As you can see there, we get a nice gap in the mouth. There, the teeth are painted white. And one thing is kind of crazy. You can see, obviously, the fronts are painted white. They're not like separate piece or anything like that. Just red on the inside of his mouth there. A little bit rubbery on that lower chin. It looks like that might be a separate piece. That's, yeah, the lower chin looks like it's a separate piece, so it wouldn't like break apart. I know when they have big gaps like that, they tend to have to do it that way. Like if we pop the head off, ooh, I didn't like doing that. I'm probably gonna not do that very often. So let me careful of that. We're going to try and keep that head sculpt on there. That head sculpt is pretty good. Here is the Absolute Carnage head sculpt. As you can see, very different look for Carnage. This one's legs are slightly bent. That's why he looks a lot shorter. Looking at the reds too, again, a brighter red, and then the black is a little bit brighter. And I'm trying to look. It looks like there's more black on the original, but it's the same sculpt. Maybe some of the black lines could be a little bit thicker, or is it just because it's not as shiny, so it just makes it look like there's more black to it? I'm gonna go with that because, you know, more of a matte versus more of a shiny. At least in the torso, it looks like the arms are fairly shiny there, but it's the same kind of all throughout. Oh, but we don't get black painted toes, so no black toes on this new Carnage. Looking at the hands are basically going to be the same. Yeah, I mean, we get the paint in all the same spots on the hands too. So that's the big difference. There's no black toes on this one. Brighter red and shinier black. But looking at the hand pieces, again, here is that axe. There it is 100%. That's the Batwing. Like, I'm always and forever going to think about the Batwing. I'm never not going to think about it. Little spots where, you know, if he's using the axe, maybe a little bit chipped away at his symbiote or something. So nice sculpted detail in there. You can see the flow lines of the symbiote, which is really cool. Looking at the other side, the black lines on there. And then the cool thing is it's got a hinge. So look at that. It's actually hinged. Not too shabby. Looking at the other hand, and again, I still haven't looked this up to see if we've gotten this before. I'm trying to think and remember. I don't think we've gotten anything this large, but I will double check that before we take a look at the articulation. But this looks really good too, kind of the flowy lines and the black in there. There is a little bit of a hinge on this one too, so zoom out so we can take a look at the whole thing. So you can hinge it down, but that's going to be a problem, you know, obviously, because it's just going to keep hitting the arm. But you get you can get that much movement in there, so that is pretty cool. We get a lot of paint on the back of the figure, which is nice too. And then we get these tendril pieces here on the legs, and those are just like glued on, as you can see there in the front. And then the back of the arms as well. That all looks good. And again, there are pins. They're pretty. They're not like hidden, but the red on red, so it really doesn't bother me any. So there's the Carnage. For the rest of the figure, I will put on the hand so we could kind of take a look. But let's go ahead and get to the articulation. Okay, so Carnage's articulation. So the head can look up that much, which is great. It is on a disc hinge. He can look down that much there. Full rotation in that head. No pivot going on in there. The arm you can get to go straight on out like so. Full rotation in there. There is a butterfly joint on there. Ooh, I feel like it should go back. It doesn't go back very far, as you can see. So that's as far back as it's going to go. Yeah, pretty limited going back. And then coming forward somewhat, so you can get some crossbody, as you could see there. Upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinned elbow. Get that much bend there at the elbow. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on both of these big-ass claw hands. There we have an ab crunch on him, so Carnage could crunch forward that far. That is pretty good. As you can see there, we just don't get any of the black little veiny look continuing all the way through, but the sculpted detail of like that muscle like texture look continues on. Crunch going back is that far. Got a waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. That is really good. He can kick forward very, very high, which is great. Leg doesn't really go back though. You got an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee. That much bend there at the knee. Very good. We get a swivel mid-calf there. Foot hinges down all the way. You get some hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So pretty good articulation for Carnage. I mean, you got the butterfly joints in there, but it is limited. But we got them, so it adds a little tiny bit of motion. And then you get all kinds of movement there in the hips and the legs, which is great. So you can get Carnage in all kinds of really good poses and things like that, looking very menacing. So there we go. Okay, so the full-on side-by-side of the two Carnage figures together, you can see this one just looks a little bit darker in color because the red isn't as bright, and then the black is not as shiny there. But essentially the same thing, just different head sculpts and then different attachment pieces. This blade here, this is new. Both of these pieces are new, the Batwing and the gigantic blade. They're new to this new one. The reds don't exactly match, so if you wanted to do this for this Carnage figure, you could, I guess, but it's not, I mean, you know, it's not really the same. I mean, I guess it blends in just as well together. And then you can actually put these on whichever hand. Earlier I had this on the right. You can put it on the left. That's not going to be an issue or anything like that. It's just, you know, something to think about. So it blends in together, like from far away, you're not really going to notice. Up close, I could see it a little bit, but it's still not even that bad. But, I mean, I guess if you're getting this new one, why would you switch it onto this one? Because you could probably just pop this head onto that one. It's not going to be an issue at all, right? Right. All right, and against my better judgment, I'm going to do the head swap since I mentioned it. Not like having to pull that one off. So you can put that on there, and it's going to look just fine. The little bit of darker red is not going to be as noticeable, especially front-facing. But you could tell there is somewhat of a difference, but it works. Okay, an animated series Carnage, I'm going to do the side-by-side, but we're going to pop on the Cletus Cassidy head sculpt on there to show you that, yes, this one, the head sculpt will fit just fine on the body, so you can have your different different Carnage figures. Carnage? Yeah, that was weird. So it works on there, and it looks pretty good. So no problems there. If you have previous Carnage figure with a different Cletus Cassidy, you can do that. We've gotten that, I think, 2 times now. One in the VHS pack, and then one in a other Venom that was in the Venom Wave 1? Because Absolute Carnage was Wave 2? Wait. Yeah, because Carnage came in a Spider-Man wave, and then we got another Carnage with the Cletus Cassidy head sculpt in the Venom wave, and then the Venom 2 wave, we got the Absolute Carnage. That's what it is. The Cletus Cassidy head's essentially the same, slightly different colors or whatever. But here we have these two Carnages side by side, and this one looks way better than the animated series. The good thing about the animated series Carnage was that we got it on a different body, because those original Carnage figures were on the Bucky cap, and then we got this one, the Absolute Carnage, which is great. but this one was on the Spider-Man 2099, so we get the butterfly joints, a much better body overall compared to Bucky Cap. But even this one at the time last year, early 2023, this one had pins. All red on red, doesn't bother me that much or anything like that. Pinless would be better, which we now have a full pinless Spider-Man 2099 body. But there we go. Okay, so that is my review of the new Retro Carnage figure. It's the first time we've gotten a Carnage figure in the Retro Spider-Man line, so I guess that was bound to happen. But this one is a good one. If you have the previous Absolute Carnage figure, you're not going to need this one. If you missed out on this one, then I recommend this one. The accessories are cool. This blade thing and the Batwing hand are pretty awesome. Very and unique to this set. The head sculpt is cool. I don't know that it's better than the other Carnage head sculpts. The paint is applied very cleanly throughout the figure too, because when you look at all the like the symbiote veins, all the black and everything, the paint is applied pretty clean. A little sloppy here on the shoulder actually, but really good. And again, if you have the Absolute Carnage figure, you already know what to expect there. So a good one. It's just, with Target and their pre-orders, it's difficult to get pre-orders in with Target, but then the figures seem to be pretty easy to get a hold of once they actually hit store. It's just that we don't know when they're going to hit store, and according to Target, it was going to be like October or something crazy like that. And that's when I'll be patiently waiting to get my second one that I can put up on the wall along with all my other retro Spider-Man figures. But this is a solid Carnage. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of it? Are you picking it up? Are you passing? Are you getting it just for the Batwing hand? These are really cool accessories. I don't know if people will pick up a whole figure just to get the accessories, but this is a pretty good one that you can put with your Carnage figures. So, that's something that'll work. So you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this Carnage figure. And then let me know if you plan to get one, if you plan to get two. Did you get your pre-order in the Target? Did you miss out on it like me? Toy Snowman, I don't know if he's going to have any restocks, but keep an eye out on toysnowman.com. Use my referral link to create your account. New accounts, first-time buyers, 5% off coupon code in your Frost Rewards. But keep an eye out for the new Marvel Legends that they may get, because when we have those Target exclusives, we can't get pre-orders in. They may have some at toysnowman.com. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. I will share those links as they go live. So yeah, if you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. As always, thank you for watching, and make sure to check out toysnowman.com for your collecting needs.